Japanese Tales, very high in the mountains. The monk Guille spent his life roaming from province to province, visiting every holy site in the land. In his travels, he made a pilgrimage to Komono and from there passed northward into the Ōmine Mountains. He was headed for Golden Peak, but got so lost on the way that he could no longer tell east from west. A good blast in the conch he had slung to his waist got no answer. Next, he climbed a peak for a better view, but all he could see from the top was valley after dim valley. After 10 days, Guille was so desperate that he begged the Buddha of his portable altar to lead him back to civilization. As he prayed, he came to a handsome wood with a pretty little house inside of it, surrounded by a broad garden strewn with white sand. The shrubs were as green could be, and it was a marvel to see flowers blooming everywhere amid a profusion of ripe berries and fruit. What a cheering sight! In the house, a monk, no older than 20, was chanting the Lotus Sutra in a sublime voice that touched the depths of Guille's being. Each chapter was a separate scroll. As soon as the monk had finished one and laid it on his desk, the scroll would rise into the air, roll itself back up, cover and all, tie its own cords quite neatly, and settle back down. Scroll by scroll, the monk went through the whole sutra. Guille was awed and frightened. The holy man stood up. He did not hide his astonishment on seeing his visitor. "No human has ever been here before," he said. "I am so high in the mountains that I seldom even hear the birds singing in the valleys. Who are you?" Guille explained that he was a monk and had become lost. The holy man invited him in, and some beautiful acolytes served him a delicious meal that made him forget all about hunger and starvation. He asked the holy man how long he had lived here, and why he lacked nothing. "I have been here 80 years, the holy man answered. "Once I was a monk on Mount Hiei, but I am sorry to say there was a little trouble between me and my master, and he refused to keep me with him any longer. I couldn't think of anything else to do but go roaming. Of course, I was young and quite strong then, and I worshipped at all the holy places. When I got old, I took refuge in these deep mountains, and I have been here ever since, waiting for my death." Guille listened with growing amazement. "You say no one comes here," he insisted, "but you have 3 beautiful acolytes serving you. Surely you can't be serious." "The sutra itself says, celestial boys will come to serve the one who upholds the sutra. Is it really so strange?" "You say you're old, but as far as I can see, you're in the flower of youth. Are you say you're telling me your real age?" "The sutra says, he who hears this sutra will never be ill, nor will he grow old and die. I am only telling you the truth." When the holy man told Guille it was time for him to leave, Guille spoke of the suffering he had just gone through, and reminded the holy man of his starved and weakened condition. He assured the holy man that he wanted to serve him for the rest of his life. "Well, it's not that I dislike you," the holy man answered, "but I've spent all these years far away from people, and that is why I must insist that you go. If you want to stay one night and no more, you must promise me you won't move or make a sound." Guille promised and got himself out of sight. Soon after dark, an eerie little breeze sprang up. From his hiding place, Guille watched supernatural beings arrive in all sorts of extraordinary forms. Some had the heads of horses, oxen, or birds, while some were shaped like deer. They crowded in with offerings of incense, flowers, nuts, fruit, and drink, and after placing these good things before the hut, they prostrated themselves in perfect order, with palms pressed together. Suddenly, one among them remarked, "Strange, it is different here tonight. I smell man." Guille was so upset that he moved, but the holy man came to his rescue, by intoning the sutra and kept it up all night long. At dawn, he ended by dedicating the merit of his chanting to all beings, and the bizarre company dispersed. Guille crept out and asked where all the creatures had come from. The holy man reminded him that the Buddha says in the sutra, "If there is no one to hear the law, then I will send celestial beings, dragon kings, earthen spirits, and demons to be your congregation." Though ready to leave now, Guille still did not know the way. The holy man told him to go straight south. He put a water jar outside the house, and it rose into the air and headed slowly southward. Guille followed it for hours to a mountain top, where he looked down and saw a large village below him. The jar then soared into the sky and disappeared. Guille realized that he was back where he had started from. He told the villagers, with tears of emotion, how he had met the immortal, and all who heard him bowed their heads in awe. No human had ever found that immortal's retreat again.